A man who buried his heart. He became a single father on a night he never talks about. The hospital lights were too bright, the room too quiet, and the woman he loved slipped away while holding his hand. She left him a promise and a baby boy who cried for a mother he would never know. From that night on, his life was no longer his own. Love became a memory he locked away, buried under responsibility and fear. He learned how to cook simple meals, how to call nightmares, how to smile even when his chest felt empty. Every day was the same work. Bedtime stories, silence. He told himself that love was dangerous, that happiness was something meant for other people. Years later, his world was still small. A rented apartment, a tired job, and a child who was his only reason to breathe. When the school announced a charity event, he planned to skip it. Those places were for rich parents and loud conversations. But his son begged him to come, and once again, he could not say no. That night changed everything. Among the crowd, he noticed a woman who did not belong there. She stood with confidence, dressed in elegance, surrounded by people who wanted something from her. She was a famous CEO, powerful and admired, yet her eyes were tired. While everyone talked, she watched him quietly, the way he held his son's hand, the way he listened instead of speaking, the way love lived in his silence. Something inside her cracked. When the event ended and the noise faded, she walked up to him, heart racing, pride breaking. "I don't have a husband," she said softly. "Can I have a date with you?" He felt the ground shift beneath him. Fear screamed inside his chest. Love was not part of his plan, but for the first time in years, his heart woke up. A woman who had everything except love. She was used to being in control. From a young age, she learned that power was safer than feelings. Success protected her from disappointment. She became a CEO before 35, respected and feared, admired and alone. Men came into her life for the wrong reasons: money, status, influence. When she showed weakness, they disappeared. Over time, she stopped expecting anything real. Love became a word she no longer trusted. But that night, watching a man care for his child with quiet devotion, she felt something she could not buy or command. Their first date was simple. No luxury, no cameras, no assistants, just coffee and silence that felt safe. She spoke about loneliness, about sleeping in large homes that felt empty, about smiling for the world while breaking inside. He spoke slowly, carefully, about grief, about nights when his son cried for his mother, about guilt that followed him everywhere. They did not touch much. They did not promise anything, but something deep and fragile began to grow. As days passed, she found herself choosing him over meetings, simplicity over power. He found himself laughing again, feeling warmth he thought was gone forever. But the world did not forgive them. People whispered, the media judged her, friends warned him he did not belong. Fear returned like an old enemy. He started pulling away, believing love would only bring pain again. She tried to be strong, pretending it did not hurt, but every step away from him felt like losing herself. One night, he told her it was better to stop. He said his son came first. She nodded, holding back tears, telling herself this was what always happened. Alone again, she stared at the city lights and wondered why love felt harder than success. Days passed in silence. His son noticed the change immediately. The laughter faded. The house felt heavier. One night, the child asked a simple question with the woman with the warm smile no longer came around. He had no answer. That night, memories returned. He realized he was not protecting his son by running away, he was teaching him to fear love. At the same time, she stood in her office late at night, realizing that all her success meant nothing without someone to share it with. For the first time, she understood that love required courage, not control. They met again under quiet city lights. No anger, no pride, just truth. He admitted his fear of losing again. She admitted her fear of being unchosen. When his son walked toward her and held her hand, something changed forever. In that moment, both understood that love does not replace the past, it respects it. Love does not weaken strength, it gives it meaning. He chose to open his heart, not because he was ready, but because love was worth the risk. She chose to step down from power, not to be smaller, but to be real. They did not promise forever. They promised honesty, healing, patience. As the city moved around them, two broken lives began again imperfectly, but truthfully. And for the first time since loss and loneliness, they believed that love could still build a family.